Welcome back to Freethought Radio. I'm Laurie, Gaylor.
And I'm Dan Barker. Leo Igwe is a Nigerian human rights advocate and a secular humanist. He specializes in documenting the impacts of child witchcraft accusations in Africa and in combating discrimination against atheists. Leo has a PhD from the Beirut International School of African Studies in Germany, and he's a graduate degree in philosophy from the University of Calabar in Nigeria. He's the board member of Humanists International, and we're pleased to have Leo in studio with us today. Welcome to Freethought Radio.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. Good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you. I saw you last time in
Lagos.
Yeah, in
exactly.
Nigeria.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And thanks for coming, honoring our invitation.
So I love your shirt.
Yes. I was on a cruise with the Black Non-Believers. They organized what they call a C conference. Yeah, so
with Mandisa Thomas.
Thomas, yeah. So one of the places we visited was Grand Cayman Island. That's what it's called. And I was shocked when they told me that there was a town in Grand Cayman called Hell. And so coming from Nigeria and Africa, where people take hell seriously, so it's not something you come and say, okay, we are going to hell. There's a town called Hell. I can tell you nowhere I know in Nigeria and Africa is called Hell, and no community would like to describe their community as hell because they take it seriously and they take it real. So it was a kind of unsettling, exciting for me to get to that place.
To go to hell.
So we should say for people who are just listening rather than watching this interview, it says, believe it or not, I've been to hell.
Yes. And actually it's true.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to hell. Yeah.
So Leo, there's also a town in Norway called Hell.
Yeah, I was told. And they said in Michigan or so?
Maybe.
Here
I guess.
In the US.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, I was told. So I have not been to all hells.
But you do not believe in hell. Do you call yourself an atheist?
Yeah, I don't believe hell. There's no other place like that apart from the place I've been to. So I don't know. I don't believe in any other place. I mean, the place I've been to, that's the only hell I know.
Okay, but I've heard you talk about some parts of Nigeria are hell.
Yeah, well, people can make it here a hell here on earth, can't they? And often in the name of religion.
Yeah, of course. Of course, when we talk about hell this time around, I think we get serious here now. So it's no longer a place of tourist attraction, but something that actually make people, you feel very bad because of, the way people are treated. People are killed, people are kidnapped, children are slaughtered in the night, set ablaze. Women are abducted, they are raped by people shouting Allahu Akbar, and they will tell you they will take over your community, they will convert you, they convert you to Islam, and so Nigeria actually is going through hell.
Yes,
at the moment.
You told us, we went to dinner last night, and you said, when I go out, I'm in fear. You said that you travel in fear, that the Boko Haram doesn't have a uniform, this Islamist fearful criminals.
Yeah.
You don't know if the person who's driving the taxi belongs to Boko Haram. So that must be a very terrible feeling.
Yes, it is. It is. Not just only me. I want to let you know that if I should say, I'll tell you that over 90% of Nigerians travel around fearing they could be kidnapped. They could be, including the rich. Why I say 90% is that, of course, you have the governors and the presidents. They go around with a lot of security. They have nothing to fear. But ordinary people, even people with minimal security, they go around with a lot of fear because of they could be attacked and all that. But it is worse for those, for instance, if you're an atheist, if you belong to the minority religious groups, you are traveling around the country, especially where Muslims are in the dominant group, because you run the risk of being attacked and killed. And that is why if you look at the map of Nigeria, the attacks we're getting is in the part of Nigeria they call the Middle Belt. Middle Belt is, why we call it Middle Belt, look at it, because Islam came from the north, spreading towards the south. Christianity started in the south, or we had dominant in the south, apparently spreading towards the north. So there's a middle around Abuja where you have the meat.
The capital, huh?
That's where you have the capital right now. Yeah. So the towns within that, and that's where the latest kidnap happened in Niger State. That's a neighboring state to Abuja and all that. So there have been that fight for domination and control by Islamists of areas where they don't have that kind of control. Because what happens is that when they conquer these places, they impose Sharia law. They impose a Muslim emir or a Muslim leader to be in charge of those places. So wherever they don't have this kind of control, there's always this tendency for them to steal, because it means that they don't have the privilege. They can't get away with a lot in terms of what they do politically or economically. In other words, they don't have that power and control over those places. So what is going on here now is the quest to control and to rule Nigeria based on the Islamic norms.
Wow. So, Professor Igwe, and I'm going to call you Leo.
Yeah.
As you know, President Trump has made some statements about Nigeria, and let's play a little news clip about what he said. Okay. And then I want to get your reaction.
Okay, good.
President Trump ordering the Pentagon to prepare for possible fast military action in Nigeria if the country fails to crack down on the mass killing of Christians.
This is what he said on Truth Social yesterday. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into the now disgraced country at guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible attack. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth got the message and says the Department of War is preparing for action.
So, Leo, I mean, we were appalled to see this, but what is your reaction?
Well, my reaction is that it is important that the world begins to pay attention to what is going on in Nigeria. So what is going on in Nigeria is a crime against humanity. What is going on in Nigeria is horrible. And I will support every attempt to shine the light on what is going on. But we can't shy away from the politics, religious politics in the world today, that eventually is going to come across in this binary where they're Muslim or Christian. While we try to make sure that we don't really make it a case of between Muslim and Christian, because that will actually add to the problem.
As you said last night, or dance a holy war.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, but it is important for us to know that something horrible is going on there. There are people going around killing people. That seem not to agree with their religious belief or religious agenda. And Boko Haram is active. And Boko Haram says it clearly. They are Islamists. They want to impose Sharia law by force and violence. And Boko Haram is just an offshoot of what is in Nigeria, an Islamist movement that try to impose, their own norms or beliefs on the rest of the country. So we welcome it, but we also people have to tread cautiously. Politicians will have to tread cautiously when it comes to this matter, so that it doesn't add to, you may want to solve a problem, you now worsen it.
Right.
Okay, good. Because the let me tell you why President Trump has to tread carefully on this. You see, you can't take Islamist terrorists he's thinking about taking out. He's just simplifying the thing. It's very complex because they don't have a uniform. I think I've mentioned it here. So now, if you say, okay, those who are carrying arms, you kill them, more people will take up arms. Let me give you an example of what happened. Well, you may have heard that there was in a school a lady, Deborah Samuel. She was accused of blasphemy because other students were posting some Islamic messages on the class WhatsApp group, and she warned against it. They said it was blasphemous, and they went, abducted her, beat her to death, and set the cops ablaze. Okay?
Was this year?
No, that happened in 2022. Yeah. So what happened was that if some people were arrested, some of the students were arrested. So what happened was 20 Muslim lawyers, about 30 Muslim lawyers came out to defend the two or few students who were arrested for that. And they boasted on Twitter that they have about 30 more, many more who are waiting to defend, the people who committed the crime. Eventually, they were not prosecuted. I think they were let go. Nobody was punished up to today. So what am I trying to say? If you take out these terrorists without addressing the fundamental issues, and new terrorists will emerge.
Like separation of religion and government.
Yeah.
Which theoretically you have on paper in Nigeria, but it's not honored.
It's not working. So we have to begin to look at those issues: separation of mosque and state.
Mosque and state.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what separation of mosque and state, of course. Mosque, state, shrine, religion, and state. Okay, look at that. Equality before the law for believers and unbelievers. Then accountability. So, like now, those who murdered Deborah Samuel have not been prosecuted up to today. In fact,
the woman that you mentioned.
The woman mentioned, yes. And there are other pastors. A pastor, again, in Kano was also murdered. Nobody was prosecuted. Another woman was also killed in Abuja by Islamists. Nobody was prosecuted. So unless we begin to address these issues, taking out the terrorists might just be just taking out a segment of the extremism. So immediately you take it out, Trump goes tomorrow. The new extremists will, come
back again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hold that thought because we need to take a break. We are talking with Professor Leo Igwe, who's come here all the way from Nigeria, who is an expert in what's going on there. And when we come back, Leo, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that Muslims are also being killed by other Muslims.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
I'm Laurie Gaylor.
And I'm Dan Barker. We'll be right back with more Freethought Radio.
Our legal team works every day to defend our secular constitution. We've stopped unconstitutional prayer in public schools, shut down government-funded religious programs, and much more. If you see a state church violation in your area, you can report it through our website at the link on your screen.
Welcome back to Freethought Radio. I'm Laurie Gaylor.
And I'm Dan Barker, and we're continuing our conversation with Dr. Leo Igwe. He's a human rights activist and a humanist from Nigeria. He came all the way here from Nigeria. We're talking about the dire situation in that country, the so-called holy war. Now, Trump thinks that the poor Christians are being persecuted, right? Yeah. But it's not just Muslims against Christians. It's Muslims against any non-Muslim or not the right kind of Muslim, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, also anybody who is stopping them from achieving their goal, or anybody they could use to achieve their goal. They could attack even a school where you have Muslims, but as long as that attacking that school will help them get a message, because they want to take control of the country. So whatever it will take. So what happens here is that it is not a Christian, the issue of Muslims all attacking Christians. Muslims are being killed. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, Muslims are being killed because there are Muslims also who oppose, what is going on in the country.
There's some good Muslims.
Yeah, law-abiding Muslims, and all that. But the thing is that those who are Muslims, of course, are considered those who can easily come under the Sharia law when it's implemented because they're already Muslims. But of course, the Christians are just the kafirs or the non-believers who need to be, and all that. And let me also add this. It is not only Muslims that are being killed. Traditional religious worshippers, a lot of Nigerians do not actually profess Christianity or Islam, but they live in an area where they said, Muslims dominate here, so they call them Muslims.
I see.
Christians dominate, live predominantly here, so everybody is called a Christian. So a lot of people killed in Nigeria are neither Muslims nor Christians.
Are they a traditional African?
Yes, they're
religion?
traditional African worshippers and believers. There are also other minority groups, followers of some local godmen and women, and all that, because Nigeria has this kind of very syncretic religious landscape. So it's not sometimes they take a little bit of some of this religion, but mainly they are traditionalists. And then again, there are nuns.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Nigerians who don't identify as
nuns, N-O-N-E-S, we should say.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Not,
religiously unaffiliated.
Exactly, yeah. Religiously unaffiliated, sorry, because there's N-U-N-S.
So are humanists and atheists are in danger then in Nigeria?
Very much in danger. Let me tell you, even much more than Muslims and Christians, okay? Because what happens is that all these religions, they rally against atheists and humanists. Now, because when a Muslim will tell you, okay, Christians are people of the book, so they treat them kind of, they are already on the way. They just need to acknowledge
Allah.
The prophet. Yeah, Allah. They are part of the Abrahamic religion. So if you're part of the Abrahamic religion as Christians, they treat them, kinder than you are an atheist or you say you don't believe. So, and that is why even in the Muslim-dominated areas, of course, there are Christians. Of course, they restrict them. They don't sometimes allow them to build churches, or they don't allow them to organize their programs in certain places. If they organize that, they will come and disrupt it. But there is no space at all for atheists in those places. Yeah.
Well, look what happened to Mubarak, right?
Yes.
He was arrested for renouncing Islam, right?
Yeah. It's a crime. It's a crime because for them, they say that if you are born into a Muslim family, you are a Muslim forever. You don't change.
Yeah, so that's why you can become an apostate, right? And then if you leave, and then you're considered really bad.
Yeah, you become a criminal. So for you to exercise your right to freedom from religion, as this foundation has its name, so this foundation is can't exist in Nigeria. Yeah, because there is nothing like freedom from religion. Freedom from religion for them in Sharia dominated areas is a crime.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a crime. You can't leave. If you are born into Islam, you remain a Muslim.
Well, you're very brave because you were in Germany.
Yeah.
And you made a choice to go back to Nigeria.
Yes. Yeah, because it is important. You can see the bad place Nigeria is now. Do you know part of the reason? Many of our best minds live abroad.
Are leaving, yeah.
They're living in the US, they're living in Europe. They don't want to die.
Well,
yeah. Actually,
that's understandable.
Yeah, that's understandable. But you know what happens? If we have to make progress in Nigeria and Africa, some people have to pay some price. Yes. Like now, this foundation is founded on the sweat and toil of some people. Yeah. So Nigerians who understand the landscape, the situation better, should go. I mean, you can't wait for Americans. We condemned colonialism.
Yeah.
Because we thought that we can address our problems. Now we're fleeing from the problems.
Well, and of course, fleeing to the United States is becoming pretty hard.
Yeah, of course.
Not in a whole different set of problems, even if you can get in.
Exactly. But what I'm saying here now is that it is important because I just felt like if I live in Europe, I'll be useless. And you'll be reading these things in the newspaper and they'll be showing you, okay, look at your country. Like now when we were there studying in Germany, they were showing us about some of the migrants, their boats capsizing, and all that. So, and the more they show me those things, I just ask myself, is that what I'm going to experience here? Year in, year out, they'll be telling me all these migrants here, they died here, and all that. Better go home and try to fix it. I'm not saying they're going to solve all the problems, but that is the society I understand better than I understand other societies. So that should be the place I will have to put in my best.
Well, I think that's a good thing to keep in mind with all the people in the United States who are not really in dire peril yet, who say they want to flee to some other country. Stay here and challenge it and work for
that is it.
For our Bill of Rights and civil liberties.
Exactly, yeah, of course. People who want to flee for some reason, like you said about people, they risk there and all that, they have a choice. But think about it. If we have to make progress, we have to work for it. No God is going to do it. No deity will save us. We must save ourselves.
That's right.
Yeah. So if we understand that, So that means that, like now, the problem, the killing going on in Nigeria is being done by human beings, not by the gods. And I believe that human beings will also have what it takes to stop the killing and turn those places, like we have seen in other parts of the world. The world fought the First World War, and they were not satisfied. They fought the second one. They were not satisfied. You can see all the killings going on in the world now in Ukraine and other places. So that will tell you that there is still that thirst for blood, by humanity and all that. But who will bring the peace? We will bring the peace. So if it has to be fixed in Nigeria, in the continent, Africans will have to lead the way.
Besides when I was in Nigeria, you brought me over there. I met some of the wonderful humanists in the country, George and Bolaji and Dominique, people who are bravely standing up for secular values, a secular government, and they must have some fear, but they are continuing to work.
Yes, because we don't have. That's our own country. That's our society, and we understand that the chances it is possible for us to rebuild it. We know that for sure. And if you flee from the society, the problem gets worse. That is the situation. So our best keep leaving the country. They're leaving us with all these criminals who are going around killing people, slaughtering people. It is important that we have to get. I know migration is an issue in the terms here in the United States, but Africans will begin to put in place mechanisms to set that place up and see what they can do to, get the country moving.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Leo.
And for being a true, peaceable freedom fighter.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And that's our show for today. And if you're a member of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, thank you. And if not, we hope you will join us soon at FFRF.org. You can see that in the United States and worldwide, we are in a huge conflict over religion when it gets in our government. So join us at FFRF.org.